Live from your election news station. This is Election 2024. Your voice, your vote. On Hines' very own WHUC News 7.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this special coverage of the 2024 general election. I'm Evan Stewart. The 2024 election is said to be a very historic election. Today, voters across the nation and here at home in the Magnolia State, Mississippians are heading to the polls for the general election. Some races that Mississippians will be casting their vote in for will be choosing a president for the United States, a United States senator, 4 United States congressional seats are up for grabs. You also have 4 Supreme Court justices and 3 Court of Appeal judges that voted on today, along with some local races. The WHUC News 7 team is out in full force bringing you comprehensive coverage throughout the metropolitan area. We begin this evening with coverage in downtown Utica. WHUC News 7 reporter Kai Beer is standing by at Precinct 1. Kai, how are things looking out there?
That's right, Evan. I am here in downtown Utica where people from the community are here to make a change. At the Evelyn Taylor Major Library, it's that time again where Mississippians go out and have the right to vote for who is best not only for the state, but for the country. Mr. Bobby Richardson tells us what are some expectations he wants to see from the candidates if selected.
We definitely need infrastructure. We need grocery stores. We need just all around economic growth, and
Ms. Jane Cornell, the communication director of Disability Rights in Mississippi, explains why she came out to vote.
So we are out today monitoring for polling accessibility for voters with disabilities. We are the protection and advocacy agency for the state of Mississippi, and we have a mandate to make sure that voters have access to their civic life and to make sure the process is accessible to them.
The weather did not stop voters from coming to cast their vote. Kai Beer, reporter for WHUC News 7. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Kai. Voters sure did practice their right to vote. We now head over to Precinct 2, where Nathan Smith is standing by. Nathan, how was the voter turnout?
That's right, Evan. I'm at Precinct 2, and Utica residents know what to do.
What a wonderful time for the 2024 election. People all around the town of Utica are all coming down to the Barnes building to cast their votes for the 2024 election. As many people are casting votes, Ms. Pearl Johnson, poll manager, tells us what can encourage the younger generation to come and cast their votes.
Get out to vote because it is very important that we vote. Do not take it for granted. Back in the days we couldn't vote. Now we have the right to vote. Please get out and vote.
As voting continues, Wakai Moore, high student at the Utica campus, tells us what it's like voting for the first time.
Really, I don't really know. It's my first time voting, so I just hope that my vote count and make a difference in the world.
The crowd has been very great here in Utica. Nathan Smith, WHUC News 7. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you both for that coverage of Utica, Mississippi. With the different races, both national and local, this 2024 election is one for the books. As we look at the turnout, the Secretary of State's office reported that as of yesterday, over 100,000 absentee ballots have been cast, a significant increase from previous elections. About 30 miles away, WHUC News 7 reporter Dejanay Antoine is in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. Dejanay, how was the voter turnout in that part of the Copiah County?
Thank you so much, Evan. I'm currently in Hazelhurst, Mississippi, near the courthouse, and the voters here are up and ready on this morning.
Voting is a big way to make change for the economy, and Hazelhurst citizens most definitely came out to do that. Mr. Donald Ray Jones shared why it was important to vote.
Yes, for equality, that show that every vote count, every person's count in this world, It's just our ancestors fought for this, and we should back this initiative up about this voting. Get up and vote. Don't lay in the house and talk about who won. Be a part of this action.
Hazelhurst citizen Brandy Smith gave some advice for first-time voters.
Get out and vote, make your voice heard, and whatever comes about it, still be, heard.
The voices from the citizens in the little town of Hazelhurst, Mississippi are most definitely being heard at the polls. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Dejanay, for that coverage. For those who may not know, some voters will be weighing in on several different races today. Looking at the presidential race, those vying for the position for President of the United States is Democratic Party Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz for Vice President, and Republican Party Donald Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance for Vice President. Another race will be the United States Senate race. Each state in the United States elects 2 senators regardless of the state's population. Those vying for the position is Democratic Party Ty Pinkins and for incumbent Roger Wicker for the Republican Party. We now take it over to Kamaria Seaton, who is in Raymond, Mississippi at Belmont Missionary Baptist Church, covering multiple precincts in one. Kamaria, how is it looking?
Thanks, Evan. I'm here at the McKay Life Center at the Belmont Missionary Baptist Church, where here precincts 1 and 2 are at an all-time record-breaking rate. Voters in Hinds County wasted no time in reaching the polls to cast their vote. With many waiting in line for an hour longer and the possibility of rain, that didn't stop anyone from exercising their civil right. Mr. Matt Jones expressed the importance of voting for not only the president, but also the state and Senate representatives.
Well, I think it's important that not only I think the presidential election always gets the most attention. That's where the most of the money is spent. But I think those of us that live here in Mississippi, we know that really and truthfully, it's our elected state officials and our local officials.
Tony Chrysler, pastor of the Belmont Missionary Baptist Church, shared why it is important to exercise your right to vote.
We're voting not for us, but we're voting for our past and for our future. A good voting turnout will always produce a good thing. So we're looking forward to it and looking forward to get the results later on this evening.
First-time voter Van Watson explained why he feels this is a very important election.
Today was my first time being able to vote. In 2020, I was still 17, so now that I'm finally 21, I feel like this is probably the most important election that we've had in a long time. And black people kind of move the needle. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything.
As you can see, Evan, many came out and casted their vote here at the Belmont Missionary Baptist Church. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Kamaria. With several cities having been covered by the WHUC News 17, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, more from across the state of Mississippi. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Jacob Schroeder, a proud graduate of the radio, television production, and broadcasting program at Hinds Community College in Utica. After graduating from that program, I had the opportunity to land my dream job in my career at Twin States News Television here in Meridian. Long story short, if you want a career like mine and enjoy telling stories that your community will care about, go to an award-winning program, the radio, television production, and broadcasting program at Hinds Community College in Utica, and you can be just like me on TV. I'm Jacob Schroeder.
This is your vote, your decision. Election 2024 on WHUC continues now.
Welcome back to the special coverage of Election 2024. I am Evan Stewart. For those who are just joining us, we have covered several cities such as Utica, Hazelhurst, and Raymond, Mississippi. I am currently at the Capitol. Now we take it over to Byron, Mississippi, where Dylan James is standing by. Dylan, how is it looking?
Thank you, Evan. I am here at the B2 precinct Byron. As you can see, the line is long. This election is very important. Today at the Byron Fire Department, the line was wrapped around the building. People woke up this morning to cast their vote for election. Ravon Robinson, tell us the importance of voting.
I think all elections are important to get the country where you want it to be. If you don't vote, you can't say anything about it.
Matthews Gomes shares with us what issues matters to him the most this election season.
I mean, we got probably inflation. I'll say inflation.
Can you elaborate on it?
Just groceries are so expensive. Interest rates have gone up. Like, I'm about to be married, trying to buy a house, and it's just almost impossible to find something in our price range. So.
Janice Muse tells us why this election is so important.
Because all elections are important. Because we have to elect somebody that's going to be in keeping care of the country, and we want somebody good to take care of our country and to keep us safe and free.
I am here at the B2 precinct located at the Byron Fountain Fog Park. Voting is in progress. Can't wait to see the results. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Dylan. We now go over to Bolton, Mississippi, where Nicholas Lofton is standing by. Nicholas?
Thanks, Evan. As you can see, citizens in Bolton are getting ready to vote. Here today in Bolton, we had people coming in and out of the voting registration area, and we can't wait to see the results. We asked one of the voters in Bolton, Mr. James Anderson, about the kind of advice he would give to the youth of today that haven't voted yet.
It's a God-given right, and you need to carefully look at who's running, look at their record, look at don't get on the internet or the phone and say, oh yeah, that's the one. No, study with your mind and vote with your heart.
And while voting was going on, we asked Congressman Benny Thompson on why it is so important to vote this morning.
Well, in America, one of the ways you pick your leaders is by voting. On voting day, everyone's the same. Whether I'm an 18-year-old or 68-year-old, whether I'm a homeless person or a millionaire. On that day, we're all the same. And so the greatness of this country is the fact that everyone can participate.
As you can see, the citizens of Bolton have cast their vote and are ready to see the results of the election. I'm Nicholas Lofton, reporting for WHUC News 7. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Nicholas. Another big race to be on the lookout for is the United States House of Representatives for 4 districts. Each district elects a representative to the House of Representatives for a 2-year term. With Michael Guest running unopposed for the 3rd Congressional District, others are fighting for their spot, such as the race for 2nd Congressional District. Incumbent Benny Thompson for Democratic Party is looking to hold his seat against Republican challenger Ron Eller. Now let's check in with WHUC News 7 reporter Tyler Dawson, who is in Terry, Mississippi. Tyler, how are things shaping up there?
That's right, Evan. I'm in Terry, Mississippi, where the line is packed out the door and wrapped around the parking lot as people are eager and waiting to cast their votes for the 2024 election. In Terry, Mississippi, residents eagerly crowded into the building to cast their votes for the next president, demonstrating the strong sense of civic duty that resounded throughout the community. The atmosphere was filled with anticipation as people from different backgrounds and age groups came together, highlighting the importance of making their voices heard during this pivotal moment in the election process. We spoke with voter Frederick Terry to ask why he believes participating in the election is important.
Because it gives you the right and the power to express, or gives you the right to express what your feelings or what you are, what you have about what's going on in the country.
We spoke with Alex Rhodes and asked him why he thinks voting is especially important during times like these.
Well, a lot's on the line. Democracy is on the line, and I'm doing this for not only for myself, I'm doing it for my wife, my female friends.
Miss Kendra Pitts brought a member of the future generation of voters with her, and we asked her why she felt it was important to do so.
Yes, this is not their first voting experience, but I like for them to come with me when I do vote so that they can see and they can learn the democratic process of this country and understand that this is an important thing for them to do. So that is why I have my daughter with me. I usually have my son, but he's at school today. So
we spoke with Miss Ariel Veazey and asked her about her experience as a first-time voter.
It feels good to have a say, because I always hear that no vote is, whenever you don't vote, then it doesn't count. So it's good to always have a say in the vote, and it feels good to just let my voice be heard.
At the voting process, not everything went smoothly. We spoke with Terry Chatham about the challenges and issues that arose during the wait.
And it's ridiculous. I mean, here it is with all these people standing in line. I'm 78 years old, 100% disabled, and they got one voting machine that's working. And it's slow, and then it ain't but four or five things on the ballot to vote on.
As the saying goes, every vote counts, and as the line grows and grows, they're out here to prove that exact point. Tyler Dotson, reporter for WHUC News 7. Back to you, Evan.
Voters are showing up in great numbers, and there's a noticeable sense of urgency among them. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, voter turnout in the tomato capital of the world. Stay tuned.
When it comes to different topics around the Hines community, Real Talk is the answer.
The alumni who have graduated from the program.
A lot of that is them getting to know me.
This is the show that talks about lifestyle, culture, fashion, art, and having you in the know of what's going on across the Utica campus and the entire community college of Hines. Be sure to watch Real Talk exclusively on Hines' very own WHUC.
When stories hit home, you can trust the WHUC News 17 to give you the information you need.
Here's the photos, Thursday, August 19th.
If it's Hines Community College news around the campuses.
And this is only the beginning. We have a full week of activity.
Weather.
And now in Crystal Springs, as you can see,
sports.
Hines is ready to get back to usual by starting the semester off with sports.
And more. We are WHUC News 7, Hines' only college news station that cares.
This is your vote, your decision. Election 2024 on WHUC continues now.
Welcome back to our special coverage of the 2024 general election. Known as the Tomopoulos of the world, we turn to WHUC News 7 reporter Jermaine Smiley, who is in Crystal Springs, Mississippi. Jermaine, how is it looking?
Thanks, Evan. We're here at the Crystal Springs Library where people are taking time out of their busy day. To make a change. Those who reside in Crystal Springs comes out today and cast their votes for the 2024 election. Crystal Springs resident Gary Brown tells us the issues that matter most to him in this year's election.
To me, the top issues in this election are dealing with the economy, for the simple fact that we have higher prices on a lot of different items and so forth, so therefore we definitely need the economy.
Resident Fred Staten gives us insight on how he feels when it comes to the 2024 election.
Well, one thing I think people need to stop being separate. It's not about being a Democrat or Republican. We need to think about what's best for America.
As you can see, the people are out here exercising their rights and making a change. This is Jermaine Smiley reporting for WHUC News 7. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Jermaine. We now take it over to Jacoby Johnson, who is also in Crystal Springs, but is in another precinct. What do you have for us, Jacoby?
That's right, Evan. We're here at Lee Avenue's Community Center in Crystal Springs, capturing all the votes, as you can see behind us. Let's get to it.
Today is the day we have all been waiting for, Election Day. We are located here at the nearest voting poll where citizens of Copiah County are traveling by wheels or feet to get their vote casted. Residents also brought the future generation to the Lee Avenue Community Center where everyone is here to put in their votes. We got a word with Crystal Springs resident Lashina Smith and asked her, what are the top issues that matter most to her this election season?
Education, most important. The children need their education, and that's what my main focus on.
Many moments after, we caught up with resident Andre Giles and asked, what are some changes you would like to see in your community if your preferred candidate is elected?
Definitely more money for resources for things like emergency response. Even though they do a great job, they definitely help me out a lot. We only have a volunteer fire department. And even just for them, if they could get more things and do that job a little better, that would be great.
Getting the votes and getting it done here in Crystal Springs. Jacoby Johnson, WHUC News 7.
Thank you guys for that coverage. We now go over to the capital city, Jackson, Mississippi, where Shannon Brown Jeans is standing by. Shannon, what are the polls looking like?
That's right, Evan. I'm here at the Greater Mount Bethel Church, Highway 18, where voters today will be casting a historical ballot. This historic election not only brought out voters, but also candidates. Hinds County Judge Hopeful Bridget Morgan tells us what she'd do if elected.
But what they can look forward to is me coming off the bench, coming to the schools to save our babies, save our children. And those ones who may find themselves in trouble, you'll get someone who takes a special docket to be able to hear what's going on. And if I can save those children and send them to places like Job Corps versus prison or jail time, then that is what I'm really seeking to do, so that we can save our voters, our teachers, our future lawyers and doctors, is what I'm focused on in this particular election.
Lassie Haynes gives us some information on how the election
They can expect to be checked in through the system through the electronic poll books, and then once they're checked into the system through the electronic poll books, then they will receive their ballot, and then they'll go and sit down under the privacy screens and make their choice. Then once they're through with that, they'll feed it into the big DS200 machines, and if they're not in the poll books, then we have a special affidavit section for them, and they can fill out their affidavit ballot from there.
And on this road to election, it has led me to Jackson State University. The Jackson State campus, I spoke with Najee Young, and here's what she had to say about early voting.
Well, given both backgrounds of, the campaigning, going to a HBCU, I feel like it's very important because we know the skin that we are in, and we know that our future is at stake for whoever we vote for.
Ms. Roberts feels great being a first-time voter.
At this point, your future, your kids' future, the next generations, they're all at stake when it comes to this election and the different things that each candidate is bringing to the table.
Well, be it veteran voter or first-time voter, voting in this election will be one for the books. Reporting from Jackson State University, Shannon Brown Jeans, WHUC News 7. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Shannon. As we look across the state, it is clear that voter turnout is robust. Voters across the country will be eagerly waiting to hear if former President Donald Trump or Vice President Kamala Harris comes out on top in the race for the White House. That wraps up for our coverage here on WHUC News 7 special report of the 2024 historic general election. I'm Evan Stewart. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the WHUC News 17. Remember, to stay engaged, stay safe, and most importantly, make sure you vote.